Welcome to Preserving Your Wealth with Mike McCormick, where we talk about smart ways to invest and preserve your money. Mike is a registered investment advisor with McCormick Financial Advisors in Bozeman, Montana. As an independent fiduciary, Mike does not receive commissions from any of the products or investments mentioned on this program. Consult a professional before making any investment decision. You can find old shows archived at McCormickFinancialadvisors.com. Learn, participate, interact.
And Mike McCormick's in the house. How you doing?
I think I'm okay, but I don't know.
I don't know either. Shane doesn't know if you're okay either.
I'm sitting down.
Yeah, he's sitting down. He's
Well,
calm.
Mikey, we're officially technically in a bull market, a bear market now, because down 25% in a month.
Oh yeah, and I would say that we're pretty certain to be going into a recession.
The R word, yeah. Ooh.
Two
consecutive no growth quarters.
So that's
in other words,
right.
Yeah.
2 consecutive negative growth quarters. So certainly this one will produce. The news is that the bad news is as bad as you can imagine. We are in the zombie apocalypse, as I like to say. This is it. We're here.
Yep.
I don't know if we're maximum fear, but we're in the panic mode.
It's the black swan of all black swan events.
It truly is, isn't it?
Yeah. Nobody saw this coming.
It truly is. Yeah. But here's the good news, is that we will recover. It's sort of a weird thing that it couldn't be really much scarier right now.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, if everybody was, able to not pay attention to their statements and able to handle this without getting too emotional, we could see, the sun will come out tomorrow. I will not sing for you.
Okay.
But the sun will come out tomorrow because this will pass, and we will be left with, some hangover. There'll be a hangover from this in terms of economics, and that's what could lead to a true recession. So, of course, I can't say that we're going to have a recession, but it seems likely that stopping the gears of capitalism right now is what's likely to happen, and getting that machine going again will not be a profitable endeavor. It will be painful. And so, what's going on with the financial news world? What's the news flow? We're just as confused as anybody out there. To say what's going to happen with stocks is to say we are in a fear moment right now. We are certainly going to overshoot on valuations to the downside because of the unknown. That's the nature of it. We cannot know what's going to happen, and therefore people will be safe and overly conservative and overly fearful. And so the key is to not be like that, and to recognize that in a matter of perhaps months, perhaps quarters, there will be profitability again, there will be economic activity again, and there will be portfolio recovery again.
Yeah.
And so this comes into your, as I keep saying, this is your zombie apocalypse. What is in your emergency stash? How prepared are you for such a shock? Do you have cash available? Do you have, your Susie Orman money? Is your debt been paid down so it's manageable? What things can you make adjustments to in your business and your lifestyle that will sustain your income and keep your spirits high? And so, no, I hope I'm not being alarmist to people, but waking up and hearing that the NBA is canceled, it's like, okay, so this is how everything's going to go. We're going to cancel everything.
Yeah.
My suspicion, we're supposed to leave on spring break today. I got some decisioning to do.
Yes, you do.
There's a lot of people that are leaving on spring break today. Hawaii seems to be particularly popular this year with our demographic. My suspicion is that when we get back, we'll find out that our schools are closed for 2 weeks, which is the residence time of the
quarantine in place if you left the campus.
Right.
Huh?
So welcome back home from wherever you came.
Yeah.
We're all just going to keep. We want you to stay at home for 2 weeks.
We're happy to have you. From our text line, 478-8298, do you feel the markets are scared based on government information?
Oh, I think that.
Do you think do people have the confidence the government's on top of this or not?
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to cause, this is not a political one side or the other side.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah,
this is one of those things where no matter who's in charge, you don't have confidence in it.
That's true.
There's no confidence in anything.
Yeah,
that's what this fear cycle is.
Yeah, Shane.
Well, in the trading market is trying to project the future and where you're at. Well, now we've gone to a bear market, which means they have no idea. So they don't know what the economic implications are, but they're far worse than in just a managed way. So there's no managed value of the market. The intrinsic value of the market is totally undetermined now.
Yeah, I mean, you can take things that are from a fiat currency to a commodity to it's only worth what somebody else pays you for it. We do have real earnings that are happening. I imagine Procter & Gamble, with their high demand for toilet paper and other products, is probably seeing some good numbers.
It's hard to squeeze the Charmin at Walmart and Costco now.
And it's simple to imagine how Amazon and Netflix are going to benefit. But what we're seeing in the markets is we're seeing wholesale selling to cash. We didn't even see bonds go up yesterday, which was a down 6% day.
Yeah,
we're going to see the market open up and trigger all the circuit breakers and have a pause this morning. This is fear time, and one thing there's two things, I guess, that I want people to really take comfort in. One is past 2 years have been so darn good that really, I was looking at portfolios yesterday and having a hard time finding one that was down for 12 months. People were still positive for 12 months. Yeah, the stock market doesn't normally do that. I mean, we're down a lot, yes, from the highs. We are technically in bear market because we're down over 20%, but we were 10 to 15% overvalued by some people's metrics before this all happened. So, take heart that you're only, after today is over, at most I think people will be back 2 years in valuations of their portfolios. And that's terrible. That's bad. And I'm not demeaning it. But 2 years ago, we were here talking about how things are kind of expensive. Boy, the economy sure is good. Everybody's been making money in their portfolios. So if we get back to that, then we're still solvent.
Yeah.
We're still, net positive. We're still owning good companies. But we're seeing right now that people are selling everything from Bitcoin to gold to stocks into cash. And that's where this,
Yeah, we were talking the other day. Shane and I were speculating about why gold isn't moving more than it is because of, that's where a lot of people go to protect against inflation or whatever.
Something about this new economy, and I hate to be the one that's saying things are new, but whether it's exchange-traded funds correlating all stocks together, which I'm a believer in, whether it's the ability that people from their computers now you don't need to call somebody to, you don't need to get your broker on the phone to make a trade necessarily. You don't need to take your gold to somewhere. You can do it all from a click, 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 click. And so people can express their emotions today. And then the other thing to take heart in, beside the fact that things were already pretty well overvalued and we were, beyond fair value for a while, is that, like I said, this will pass. This will not be the end of humanity and capitalism. This will be a pause.
Yeah.
A pause. And maybe, read a good book. Maybe we'll get better. Find a new skill. Look into distance learning. There's going to be lots of opportunities.
That's right. Yeah.
So don't sell today. Recognize that this is why you were.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there for the long run. Not
throw your statement away for March.
Yeah.
It's a it's a mulligan. Might be the hope to think about it like that. The news is real. The challenges are real. There are people that I know, clients that I know, that are in businesses that are being drastically impacted. I got a client that's heavy into the trade show business. They make the 6-figure display booths for the biggest companies in the world. Their business is half the earnings for the year are basically gone. Yeah, that's how
nobody's having. Conventions have kind of gone downhill anyway. A lot of people are doing them online, and
that's true.
Unless you've got like the consumer products thing in Vegas every year, or the car. They just canceled the car shows, I think.
Tom, I'm surprised at how much people do these conferences, actually. I hear what you're saying, that technology's done away with some of it, but it still is a huge, huge part of companies' budgets is flying these people around to go meet with each other all the time.
Is. Yeah.
And so, we're going to be going online with computers more and more.
Are investors looking more toward exchange traded funds or index funds in medical products, services? Has there been an increase in investing?
Not on a sector basis. No, I would say that it's similarly across the board. This is a more
healthcare's always been pretty good for the most part, hasn't it?
Well, in terms of opportunities, to buy things that will recover first. This is where Warren Buffett says, "Be greedy when others are fearful." Mm-hmm. Here's your time. Here's your time, right? Who's going to walk in here right now?
Yeah,
I'm a fiduciary for my clients. Mm-hmm. I'm inherently conservative in terms of risking my clients' money. The biggest thing that I want to do is protect it. So for me to say, "Here we go, charging in like Custer into the battlefield. This is going to be for God, for glory, and here we go." I'm not going to be the first one into this.
Yeah.
But if you're listening and you recognize that we are in a fear cycle, and this is when the good deals happen, look to the things that will recover, and certainly healthcare is first and foremost. Yeah. We're going to want to fund them. Mm-hmm. Think about how the government
and Gamble, your home stuff,
right? When the government does come up with a plan to help us, the Fed's already been pumping liquidity into various situations. There were some dislocations in the bond market that have been happening, and the Fed's been stepping in and providing liquidity. But there's going to be some stimulus, and it's really fascinating to me because as we debate on this show, the conservative view is to cut taxes and allow consumers to decide how to spend their own money. The liberal view is to tax that money and have the government reallocate the capital. This is a time when studies, again, who studies? I don't know. Studies show that giving handouts, stimulus from the government to the people from the tax money they've already collected is what's appropriate.
Yeah.
And we see that Trump's reluctant to do that. He's talking about a payroll tax cut, which will be beneficial, but really it'll be beneficial a quarter from now. It's not the same as somebody, ding dong, instead of Amazon, it's $1,000 bill sitting on your front porch.
Right.
That's the sort of stimulus that we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
So to answer your question, Tom, if you're going into the market, I do really promote the exchange traded funds because you don't know if Johnson & Johnson or Stryker or Bristol Myers or Novartis or whoever is going to benefit from the upswing. Who's going to get the cure? Who's going to get the federal government's thumbprint on you're the one that's going to get the most money? You don't know these things. An exchange-traded fund, IYH, is one of them for the healthcare. It's a great way to say, something in healthcare is going to benefit from this. Yeah. There's a communication services category that you can get into that can benefit everything from Facebook to whatever. So do your homework. It's okay to be brave when others are fearful, but not both feet. Maybe a couple toes.
Yeah. For the benefit of the listeners, exchange traded fund is just a basket of stocks that are traded like a stock, like a single stock. So
just today's version of a mutual fund.
Yeah. So their benefit. All right, we got to take a short break. Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Advisors, is in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing on the line, and Tom Eagle up your morning mayor. We'll be right back. We're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill, and I should mention they're voted Bozeman's Choice Best Happy Hour. Club Tavern and Grill offers happy hour specials every day of the week as one of Bozeman's most popular happy hour spots and sports bars. You'll be sure and find something you'll love from their extensive drink and food menu. They also serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they have a kid-friendly menu also. So to place an order for pickup or make a reservation for parties of 6 or more, go online to the Club Tavern and Grill, theclubtavernandgrill.com, and check them out. They're in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th across from Walmart. It's where the locals go, and tell them Tom and Shane and Mike sent you in. And we'll be right back right after this. Jay Taubman, half man, half amazing's on the line. Tom Eagle, your Marty Mayer's in the house, and the incredible everybody wants to be like Mike McCormick
I appreciate that.
is in the house. And Mike needs some advice. Mike is going to San Francisco and then to San Diego for spring break with the family.
50-minute layover connection in San Francisco.
With the family, and I want to know from the listeners out there, should Mike make this trip? Is it safe? What do you think, Shane? Should he go to Should he go
my
to
plan
San
is
Diego?
to come back also, just to
Yeah.
be clear. I'm not just going one way.
Should he travel to coronavirus ravaged California?
No. Nor should he be going to Hawaii. My sister's in Hawaii, and I'm worried for her. It's not Hawaii I'm worried about. It's all the other people that are coming there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't know where the people are at a resort of 5,000 people, where they're from, or what their backgrounds and stuff is. You don't normally pay attention to any of it because you're there with the kids. Now you have to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, Tom, I'm not disagreeing. I certainly agree that it's postponing this trip. The airlines will let me move it, I believe, without a change fee.
Oh, they will, yeah.
The VRBO that I got is I'll probably eat some of that because there's a private owner on there that, there's another. It's not a corporation I'm getting my money back from. It's an individual person. The car rental, I did hot wire and I prepaid. So I'll probably eat a bunch of that too. So it's, it's probably $1,000 loss, if not a $2,000 loss on it. But I could be saving the health of my father, who's elderly, that we're going to go visit.
Yeah.
Could be saving his life. And so this falls into the realm of the low probability, high consequence decision making.
And you should get a good airfare.
In the future.
We should get one now, I would think.
For rescheduling.
No, I've checked.
Yeah.
There's no deals.
Yeah, I looked the other day too, Tom. It's not great. I did hear that you can get ironically, from Seattle to Hawaii for $99.
Yeah.
Maybe Seattle's looking to get rid of their people.
I think they are. I think Yeah. Why should Seattle have all the fun with this virus? Let's spread it over to Hawaii for a while.
In this fun little, group decision making we have the whole sentiment encompassed is that there's fear and uncertainty in this. We don't the high consequence here. I could be endangering my family. I could be endangering my community.
Yeah.
Probably not. We're all very healthy. Everybody we spend time with is very healthy. We all get the flu from time to time, and we all recover, and it's like, oh, that was sort of a bummer. But we're okay, and that's part of life.
Yeah. Well, you can't come in here till at least a month after you get back.
Well, you're right. Right. I mean, when we get back, we're right.
Right.
I can phone it in, though.
I mean,
Mike, why don't you come in every day for a week when you get back? Help me out. Help me out.
Yeah. Shane wants to take over the show. And I'm hospitalized with up to my ears and respirators.
Oh, nobody wants you out of here, Tom. You're irreplaceable. Nobody knows how to run that 1920s board that you run there anyway.
Right? Yeah. It's a secret that nobody knows. Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Calling you on the air with Mike McCormick, Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, this is Denise. I just went to North Carolina and I wore a mask the whole time I was in the airport and on the airplane and stuff, and I feel healthy and everything like that. I didn't see a lot of people in the airport with masks on, but if you wear a mask around somebody, especially the elderly and stuff, you shouldn't be able to wash your hands. You should be able to visit safely.
I like that.
Oh yeah, you're probably the most safest place to breathe air on the planet is on an airplane at 50,000 feet.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And the entire vacuum in an airplane is recycled every 4 minutes through the engine.
Yeah.
So
it's heated
you
and
just kind of stay away
sanitized.
from a lot of people and stuff, and if you're going to eat there, stay off in a car corner by yourselves, and try to get a restaurant or eat outdoors. Then the only thing I think you have to worry about in San Francisco is all the homeless people and stuff, and they do put fires out apparently that where to go, where not to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be within terminal whatever and go from
So you'll be with you're just
one to the
planes
other,
in San
right?
Francisco.
Yeah, Mikey will be behind glass. He's like that orchid at the aquarium.
Yeah.
Well, I'd hate to see you, not go and lose money and stuff, and not be able to visit your father. Just wear a mask around him and stuff.
I appreciate that.
So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a fun thing to do when you go to an international airport and there's all this glass. go up to the glass where there's a bunch of kids, and knock on it, and then poke at them through the glass, and that like you're looking at monkeys, or you're looking at.
It's funny. We are planning to go to the zoo also.
Yeah.
Yeah, like being in the zoo, right? I didn't want to say that, but
will they let you take scuba tanks on the plane? Do you think? I don't know. We'll see about that.
Brave new world, everybody. Keep your hands off the keyboard today.
That's right. Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Advisors, how they get a hold of you, son?
522-3201. No login or mask needed.
All right. We'll be back with Tom and Shane and Mike right after these important words. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, March 12th, 2020, 28 degrees outside. Mike McCormick in the house, and Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing, and Cantaloupes. And the chair recognizes the Honorable Shane Montalban. He has the floor.
Thanks, Doc, for the last 10 years probably had led the bull market. I just want to go over them real quick. Facebook today is 172.64, up 3%. Not high volume, 7.4 million. The average or high volume, or the high volume for the year is 492 million, and the low volume of 18 million. Excuse me. Amazon is $1,820, down 796, and let's see, we've got Netflix and 349.92. Down 14.21. Again, not a lot of volume, and of course Google 12.15, and it's down 64. And I always throw Disney in there. It's 105. So, interesting thing. I'm sure Mike will want to comment about this too. Is even these stocks that have basically led the bull market in the last 10 years, they're off, but not like significantly.
And right. I mean, so there is some differentiation that's happening. And we got a great question from a listener that I'll just paraphrase. It basically says, okay, if this is a good time to buy, which companies are going to do the best on the rebound? And so, Shane, your point is taken in that, the first realm of investigation that you would do is say, okay, well, who's fallen the most? Because if you go with the idea that right now everybody's just wholesale pressing the sell button on everything, which we're seeing, when you see gold down, when you see these safe havens, Bitcoin is also remarkably down. It's not done anything like people thought it would. Then you say, okay, well, it's a simple game to simply say which has fallen the farthest, because when it comes back, it should come back the farthest also. And Shane, what you're saying is that there's certain companies in there that have, when people have decided that they need to sell things, they've been the last ones to be sold. They've been sold less than the other things because of the perceived value, because they're going to, they are like, Facebook.
They're going to ride it out better. Than
right. If we're quarantined for 2 weeks, imagine how much we're going to be on Facebook, especially with the election now looking at the news and all this stuff. So,
and you're going to see more people ordering online than going out to the grocery store.
You're going to see all sorts of strange behavior. And it'll be okay. The doors will open, spring will come, and we'll survive. But this experiment that we're going into, I think, first it's going to get worse in terms of, I expect us to cancel everything. I'm surprised that I asked Tom what he would do if he was Trump, and you said, I think it was good that he canceled flights to Europe. I said, well, I think we're hours away from international flights maybe being canceled. I mean, if you're going to do one thing a little bit, this is the time to say, we're just going to do it all. Everything's shut down. If we're going to address it half-assed, bleep that out, then you run the risk of looking bad. You run the risk of making a mistake.
Well, Europe is the big point, because these companies went so lax in not doing anything. Right.
And now it's, now people, you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
This is the hysteria.
That's true.
You don't know who's got it.
Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air with Mike McCormick and Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, Tom. This is Donna.
Hi, Donna.
How you doing?
Good.
Two things. Travel. My concern wouldn't be the virus itself, but getting stuck quarantined somewhere away from home. And the stock market. Don't like to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but can the market be manipulated so as to cause chaos for President Trump? There have been people like Bill Maher who are on record saying that they're willing for the economy to suffer if they can take President Trump out with it. So that's my questions. I'll let you talk about it.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah, great point. And of course, my wife and I said, well, what do we do if we get stuck in San Diego and we can't fly back? She said, we rent a car. Well, that's not going to save us any money, but okay.
You'll just drive back.
Maybe we'll buy a Yugo and then sell it here or something that probably costs less.
Call Uber. They'll get you up here.
And to the idea that some people want the market to tank. Sure. I did my dude. I don't. When I listen to news, I listen to financial news. My job is to be My job is not to be political.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help myself for the past few nights to turn on cable news, and it's just alarming. It's not alarming. It's comical to watch people say, "Don't panic."
Yeah.
And then they launch right into this spiel that at the end of it, you're like shaking. You're like, "Oh my God, my dog's gonna die of this or something." So, yes, if you watch any commentator on any side that's not pro-Trump, they're going to say Trump hasn't reacted properly to this, and this is worse than he thinks, and we all need to be very concerned. And that's an easy one for them to play.
All right. We got to take another break. Shane, we got a caller on the line. If you'll chat with them, we'll be right back. 14 minutes for the top of the hour. Mike McCormick in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing on the line. And caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Well, this is Clinton. I got a little advice for Mike and everybody else out there.
All right.
And you too, Tom.
All right.
You ready for this? Are you guys?
I need it.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, let me put my PPE on. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, well, what I think you should do. How old's your dad?
80 wonderful.
80?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little older than him. I would advise you. Is he in good health?
He says he's actually got the flu right now, is what he said.
He said he has the flu?
He's got a cold, is what he calls it.
Okay.
But they hit him pretty hard these days, so.
Well, if he's in good health, other than maybe having a cold, I would advise you to go see your dad.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be afraid of death. You know, death is at everybody's door. And
Isn't
nobody
that the
knows
truth,
when it's
right?
happen.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, it's at everybody's door, and nobody knows when it's going to happen. So what I would say to you is enjoy your life. Go see your dad. And is your mom alive?
Oh, yeah.
Both of them?
Yep.
Well, go see them and put your arms around and hug them and tell them you love them. That's the main thing.
All right.
You know, and I got something to say about this. Shane and I were talking, and I remember the Depression. A lot of people don't, but I do, and I'll tell you a little bit of story here about my great-grandparents. They were very, very wealthy people. They had shorthorn cattle. They came up. They went to Winnemucca, Nevada, with Peter V. Jackson the First, which was everybody knows in the Madison County, and they brought home a bunch of cattle. And my great-grandparents brought home 420 head of shorthorn cattle. And they brought them to the ranch there on the Madison, which Doug Smith and his brother own now. And anyway, the winter of 1918 and 19 pretty much wiped them out. They went at the end of the winter with 420 head of mother cows, and they came out with 200. And the cattle froze to death standing in the corner.
I mentioned when we were talking about it, I mentioned the great one here, that Charlie Russell, the famous artist, sent home a postcard to the people whose ranch was staying at, and it was a postcard of a single cow. At the bottom it said, "The last of the 20,000."
Yeah, that's the truth too, Shane. You know, and the thing is them days, now, we didn't have any money. Most of the people didn't have money, and the people like my great-grandparents at that time had money.
Is there a point somewhere here?
The point is this. If you're going to get out of the markets, turn your money into gold and silver. And the reason I say that is gold and silver over the last 8 or 10 years has done nothing but multiply. I bought some of it, some silver at $2.50, and I bought gold at less than $1,000. And so what I'm saying is it's the standard measure of the world, gold and silver is. And if you're going to bail out of the markets, turn it into that. That's all I got to say.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Betcha,
all right.
bye.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm not sure gold and silver is the place to do.
It hasn't worked so far, but it might. If you're really scared about this, you got to do something, right? That's human nature. You got to do something.
Well, Shane said a lot of people are going to cash,
and that's what most people are doing. And
I guess you could call gold and silver cash, but I don't know.
Right. So
semantics.
If it gets worse, if this does turn into a breakdown of society, then we're going to the beans and bullets part of the program.
Yeah,
this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're a long way away from that happening. I think that even at the highest death rates of what we're looking at, this is not a big deal. And hearing from people in our community about how I should go and be with my family is really heartwarming. So I'll do some research and report back on that. Protecting yourself should have been done in the past 3 years of listening to this show, where we were saying these are the salad days.
Yep.
You're making extra money, hopefully. It's the time to start saving. Yes, your retirement accounts, I've always said, put it in the stock market. I still say make that retirement contribution. If you planned on making a contribution, most of my clients have passed over some money for what they were planning on doing this year. I'm not spending it yet.
Yeah.
And they mostly have plenty of cash resources or dividend income that can sustain them through these times. And that's the part of the plan. If you've been out, spending every dollar that came your way and borrowing and financing cars at higher interest rates and things like that, you're exposed. But it also means, now maybe it's even more important to not make rash financial decisions. So find somebody you trust. There's nothing that needs to be done now. No good financial decisions were made hastily.
Yeah.
So think about.
I think that's a real message. You need to really. All these things come along, and there's tons of hype from the political side, the market side. Everybody's got an opinion, but sit back and really think about.
Be deliberate.
What affects you. And as we talked about, do your research. What has come down the slowest,
and here's where I come to is what do you wish? We don't have to go back to the Great Reset, to the Great Depression. We just have to go back to the Great Recession.
Yeah,
2008, 2009. What do you wish you would have done?
Yeah.
Okay, I wish I would have sold everything at the top and kept it as cash and bought it at the bottom. Okay, you got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Borrowing absolute clairvoyancy. What do you wish you would have done?
Yeah.
And the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
That is what you wish you would have done, was nothing. Some people sold at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they didn't get back in, and they kept saying, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. This isn't real. This isn't real. I don't trust it. It's propped up. It's not the real deal. And they've been saying that for a decade. And today they feel like they're right. Tomorrow they'll go back into, potentially 10 years of being wrong again.
Yeah.
So think about what you wish you would have done during the Great Recession. Do that. Be careful. Talk to people you trust that are not motivated by commissions. These would be the fiduciaries in your life, your CPA, your attorney, hopefully your financial advisors, your fiduciary. They're good people in town. I want you to give them a call. Enjoy your day.
Okay. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned. 2 minutes before the top of the hour, we got a caller waiting on the line. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
I feel like I'm always on the air.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Mr. McCormick, and I was discussing this with Shane. Don't you think that the market to begin with was a bit overvalued due to the fact that the government pumped some money, a lot of money, into it back in 2008?
Certainly the stock market was overvalued, and I do think that the Fed made it more. Yeah, I mean, they made it worse. But it was a time of, and I think we'll get back there, where the economy is really strong. And so if people have extra money, it wasn't like the stock market was overvalued and other things were not. everything was overvalued.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. I did not hear the president's the speech last night, but there was talk about the fact that he was going to bring about financial aid to airlines, cruise ship, travel, this and that. Mm-hmm. And is that still on the table, or has he pulled back on that?
Well, he said he was going to do that. He also said he was going to make sure people didn't miss paychecks, and that insurance companies would cover coronavirus, medical attention and things like that.
Well, that's noble as far as the insurance companies are concerned. But I'm very worried about bailing out, a certain industry. I'm not all about that. I think that's a big mistake. You remember, didn't they bail out Lehman Brothers and too big to fail GM?
Well, they didn't bail out Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers failed, but they did bail out JM, though. Yeah, they did. And I was against that. I thought, hey, we don't have Pontiacs or DeSotos or,
let's slow down.
Well,
they didn't really
have to slow down. We have to slow down because we got 10 seconds left. So,
fine.
So let's hold it. We'll hold that till the top of the hour, okay? All right. Got to go.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. Mike, thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure. Everybody, it's a great day to turn your computer off and enjoy the people you love.
That's it. All right. We'll be right back.